My first guest has won 12 Emmys for his work as a sports announcer and a talk show host. And his first book, Fair Ball, A Fan's Case for Baseball, is on the New York Times bestseller list. He does it all. Please welcome Mr. Bob Costas.
The Costas head in the middle looks strikingly like Jeff Van Gundy.
That's our intern, Gunther Van Gundy. Just showed up. How are you?
Good. How you doing?
Nice to have you here. There's so much to talk about. You know, sports usually, sometimes it feels like it's a separate... Sports is its own separate world. Sports lately has broken into madness.
Freak show.
It's a freak show out there, and who better to comment than you? This Mike Tyson fight the other night.
Right.
That was not an insult, by the way.
Yeah.
Or was it? Mike Tyson the other night, after his fight, apparently just started rambling and babbling.
Right.
Like an insane man. I wouldn't tell him that to his face, but... And he said about Lennox Lewis, I want to eat your children.
Right.
And he also said, I want to rip out his heart and feed it to him. What's going on with this man?
Who is doing this guy's PR? Hannibal Lecter? First he bites Holyfield's ear off. Now he makes this declaration about Lennox Lewis.
That he wants to do some eating. Yeah.
He treats every fight like it's a Vegas buffet. I'd like to see this guy fight in a straitjacket, which is pretty much where he belongs.
Right.
You know, how he delivers lefts and rights with the straitjacket on, I don't know, but this guy's certifiable.
Are they going to let him? Are they going to let him fight in this country again? Because there is, I got to say, there is this weird thing of when you hear about this behavior, it makes you, even if you're not a boxing fan, you want to watch the fight because it's like watching Fox's, real video or something. You think you're going to see something insane, him rip someone's head off, and stuff the skull with cottage cheese. And then serve it. You think something like that's going to happen.
Yeah, in the absence of like a pineapple boat, that's the next best thing. Yeah, there is a fascination with him, there's no doubt. Whether you root for him or against him, he's a drawing card. I don't know if he's the best heavyweight or close to the best heavyweight anymore. He used to be. But if he fights Lennox Lewis, it's off the chart as a pay-per-view event.
Now, does a guy like Lennox Lewis want to get in the ring with... When my opponent, and I fight regularly... When my opponent says that he wants to serve my heart to me in some kind of dish, I'm suddenly thinking, I don't know if I want to fight that fight.
And that, that's always been part of boxing, that kind of intimidation thing. And make your opponent think that you're not just ferocious, but that maybe you're crazy. Crazy enough not to be hurt, not to feel it when you're hit.
But what you do is you say, I'm going to bite your ear off. You don't do it. That's how he's different.
Yeah, he's tipped his hand pretty much.
Right. Don't tell us what you're going to do. Just do it.
He's given away his strategy, come to think of it. His trainers are incensed.
Yeah. When he shows up with cutlery, it's like, you blew it. You told us. It's ruined now. He's going to the heart now. Blah, blah. You, heard all about it. Now, I have to ask you something else. You covered the NBA Finals. You were in Los Angeles at that final game, and a riot breaks out outside. Did you see this coming?
Yeah. When they took a shot of the crowd gathered outside the Staples Center in the second quarter, and they're showing the game up on the Jumbotron, this struck me as perhaps not the wisest idea.
Right. Because they showed up in riot buses.
Exactly. This is a riot by appointment.
Right.
This isn't a riot that was sparked by some specific event. I envision people at home, someone calls, hey, Fred, what are you doing tonight? Well, third quarter, about an hour and a half, I'm doing a riot. Because that's what it was. It was a riot by appointment.
Now, so you're there, you finish the game, you're done with your job.
Right.
Could you leave the Staples Center? Were you able to leave?
We started to leave, took one look out the door at the situation right outside, and I'm thinking to myself, I might not be the smartest guy alive, but I know one thing for sure. One of the last places you want to be in the middle of a riot is in a limousine. You might as well be wearing a sign that says, look at me, I'm everything you should hate and resent. Come attack me now. So,
yeah, I would think that's... It'd be funny if you were like one of those prom kids, too, if you peeked your head out the top of the window. I make so much a year. Bang.
Picked the wrong time to moon somebody.
So you stayed in the Staples Center. I heard you guys were locked in there for 2 hours before you could leave.
We were locked in for 2 hours.
What are you doing for fun?
Scrounging for food. We all were holed up in the L.A. Kings abandoned locker room.
That must smell great. Yeah.
It wasn't the most pleasant place to be, but, you know, after a while it dawned on us that we were marooned there. So on general principles, we voted Bill Walton off the island.
And then ate a rat. Right. I understand. You've written a book about baseball. You're very well known for being very passionate about the game. So passionate that you carry a baseball card in your wallet, a Mickey Mantle baseball card. Then I find out that you carry another baseball card in your wallet, and I think it's going to be of one of the other legendary greats. And I find out it's a baseball card. It's the Oscar Gamble baseball card, and I'm wondering, okay, cool, we got one guy here.
It's an Oscar Gamble head out there.
He's a Gamble head. He's the only person that's been excluded from the audience shots. You've got an Oscar Gamble card.
Right.
Why Oscar Gamble?
Well, I had the Mantle card from the time I was 6 or 7 years old, 1958 Mantle card. And it was the only card I ever saved from the kids' baseball card collection. And about 3 years ago, somebody hands me this Oscar Gamble card. And when I got a look at it, I realized that it deserved its own place of honor, because Oscar Gamble had, in the late 1970s, without question, the finest afro that Major League Baseball has ever seen.
Let me take a look at this here. This is actually this card. You can tell it's been around. Man!
That's a first-rate afro. You figure he's got to have that thing bobby pinned onto his head. Otherwise it's flying off every other second.
He actually fielded balls with it occasionally. That's amazing.
They could actually pull a hidden ball trick by just hiding it in the fro.
It deserves its own place in your wallet. Let's talk about another thing. So many things people are talking about. Dennis Miller, now the Monday Night Football co-anchor, I suppose.
Right.
One of the guys in the booth. Some people are saying this is an insane choice. Other people are saying it might work. What do you think?
It's already started a chain reaction. I found out today I'm doing the Olympics with David Spade. So I don't know where it ends. He's a smart guy, Dennis Miller.
Yes.
A legitimately smart guy, and he doesn't need prepared material. I mean,
and he knows football, too.
He knows it as well as an avid fan, that's for sure. To me, the only question is, how do the dynamics work in the booth? You're not on camera most of the time. You're talking over action, and you have 10, 15-second slots to get in. So he's going to have to figure out the rhythm of it, kind of the ebb and flow of the way a football broadcast goes. And then Al Michaels and Dan Fouts are going to have to be a good audience for him, because there is no audience other than the other guys in the booth. They don't have to be as funny as he is, but they have to get it when he cracks the line.
Because he makes some kind of arcane references.
Right.
That guy's doing the Salieri shuffle cha-cha. But he's a funny guy.
Yeah, I mean,
no slam, Dennis.
if he uses the occasion of a costly turnover to make a Miguelito Loveless reference, you know, then you got some problems. But if they don't get it, and that's the key. And most sportscaster humor is along the lines of, well, back when you played, Joe, the football actually was a pig, wasn't it? Ha, ha, ha. You know, and the kind of forced laughter. Now, if that's their...
That was a good forced laugh.
If that's their...
Want to be a sidekick?
I've got years of experience. If that's their reaction to Dennis's stuff, then he's in trouble. But I think it's a bold move, and it's got a high upside.
Why not? I say try something.
Yeah, he's a very bright guy, and I think he could make it work.
It's much better than me doing the play-by-play. That would be, that fellow's got the ball, and then that fellow. There's some kind of trouble, and oh my.
You know, if the score's 35-0 in the second quarter, you'd be grateful for Yakov Smirnov in the booth at that point, you know?
No.
You know, with the fish heads, a Yakov Smirnov reference doesn't really work.
No.
I should have realized that.
But where does it work?
I'm not exactly sure where. Branson, Missouri.
Branson, Missouri,
yeah. It's big in Branson.
They like that. And then quickly, as I mentioned in the monologue, in between all the loud laughs, John Rocker going to take the 7 train, he says, on Thursday. He claims that he's going to ride the 7 train that he maligned. What's going to happen? What do you see in this scenario? He's announced that he's going to board the train, ride it to Shea Stadium. Is this true?
He strikes me as the kind of guy who'd first jump the turnstile, probably get arrested before he could get on board. If he does ride the 7 train with all the media, he's going to be the only passenger. It'll all be cameramen and reporters, and you know, some squirrely guy who's actually been on the 7 train for about a month continuously. That's going to be about it.
Now, wait, why are you better than Rocker now calling him a squirrely guy?
Some low-life to squirrels everywhere.
Yeah, right. So you think a non-event, and what about the game itself? When they start playing games, you think it's...
Yeah, they've had to double and redouble security.
Right.
If they bring him in, you know, I hope that they let him have it and that's all. I hope that they let him know how they feel with booze and catcalls, but that they don't lower themselves to anything worse than that.
You hope, like a Fish crowd, they're perfect ladies and gentlemen. The whole
Exactly. I hope they sit quietly with their hands in their laps like the Costas heads. Look at that.
That's a crowd response
That's
right
a
there.
well-behaved trio right there.
Those guys love the Yakov-Smirnoff reference, by the way.
It was big with them.
Yeah, they'll laugh tomorrow. Fair Ball. Fair Ball is in stores now, and of course you'll be hosting the 2000 Olympics in September on NBC. Great to have you here. Thanks so much for coming.
Great to see you.
Always great to have you. Mr. Bob Costas, Herman Electric, coming up. We'll take a break. We'll be right back.